Hey, what's up, guys? So I was just out here riding around the desert. I live in Buckeye, Arizona, and I just took a trip down the road to Hassayampa near Tonopah, and was just out here riding around, having a good time. Relaxed Monday afternoon, day off. So I decided to come out here, stop for a minute, show you guys around my car. Um, Been building it for about 3.5 years now. Got it in April 2018, so almost 4 years. Um, and kind of like when I got it, it was just a shell. Didn't even have a hood, nothing, no fenders or anything like that. And I'll try to drop in a picture of what it looked like when I first got it. But some of the stuff that was still there when I got it. Was the cage was in there. That's really about it. Didn't have a transmission, no engine, obviously. I think two of these rims, the rims that are in the back, when the guy rolled it up here, it had the front wheels or the back wheels on the front. So I put some new tires on it. Tires are all dry rotted. Suspension was all blown out. I did run that suspension for a while after I got it running, but I've it's just been kind of a work in progress over the past few years. Been through, this is my third engine. Had the engine built first time, wasn't quite built right. We didn't measure we didn't measure the connecting rods. The connecting rods turned out to be bent, and we didn't figure that out until we took it apart the second time, and then we measured the connecting rods, found out those were bent, and that was creating a chatter. The first time, the issue was it sounded like the pistons were hitting the heads, so we had to take the heads off. And then we took it apart, just checked everything, put it all back together, and then that's when we found out the connecting rods are bent. So I got H-beam connecting rods in there. Oh, so backing up, it's almost a 2-liter engine. It's a 1968, so I'm running a 76 millimeter crankshaft. I think 56 connecting rods, something like that. I can't remember. 92 heads, 92 pistons, and a 100 cam. And it's stock geometry lift on the cam. So the connecting rods, not the connecting rods, the rocker arms are just stock 1-to-1 ratio, but they're heavy duty. And obviously you can see I got the CB Performance MagnaSpark 2. I have dual Weber 40s on there. I have the MST crank pulley. And obviously I got an aftermarket oil cooler, and then it's cut for full flow. It works great. Get good oil pressure all the time. Running an electric fuel pump with a Holley fuel pressure regulator. I'm still messing with the pressure on that. I've been having issues where I would lose power when I'm climbing up hills. I did install extended vent extensions, so it wouldn't be bogging down on me when I was climbing up and going down hills. So that seemed to help a little bit, lowered the fuel pressure a little bit. Still feels like it's overflowing a little bit. As you can see on the carbs, getting a lot of dirt build up, and it looks like fuel is still coming out of there. Still working through that, just kind of driving it around and feeling it out and adjusting things here and there as I go. But thing starts right up, runs great. Also got a sump on there. I had the MP 1.5. It's like an 1.5 inch. It adds 1.5 quarts. Helped. It was good until I cracked it a few weeks back. So I went with the little slimline one from CB that I got from OfferUp or something like that, and it's running good now. It's not leaking, obviously. I was running some Rancho. Actually, we'll go to the transmission. So it's IRS trans, and but it's fully built. This is the third transmission I've had in there. First one I got kind of had a weak the first transmission I had in there kind of had a weak reverse, and it was popping out here and there. And then one day I couldn't even move it all in reverse. So I took that out, got another used one, ran that for a few months, and then I was climbing up a hill and blew out the diff on that. And then was working on getting the transmission built with a friend of mine. Took about 6 months or so, but we got we got it all dialed in. I got a super diff in there, welded 3rd and 4th gear. 1st gear has it's a little bit taller, but not by much, like 0.02 I think. And then 3rd and 4th gear a little bit closer ratio. And like I said, they're welded shift forks. And then obviously I got the billet heavy duty side plate. But that transmission is smooth as butter. I love it. So that was a good investment. And then the suspension, I was running some Ranchos that it had on there when I first got it, but those were making way too much noise. Ran them for a while, and then I went to a friend's house actually to get the second used transmission, and he had these Bilsteins with reservoirs available. So I snatched those up, threw those in, and man, that made a world of difference with the ride and the sound and everything. Smoothed everything out. It was great. As you can see, I got the high lift jack. I've used that quite a bit because out here it's pretty sandy. Don't exactly have sand tires on it, so those don't do so great when it gets the real deep sand. Out here, some places you get out and it's like cat litter. It's like 1.5 feet deep, and you sink in and bog right down. But that might be part of the issue I was having with my carb. So I don't know if I would still have that issue now that I kind of fixed that problem. But I haven't been back in the sand to test that out. So going into the interior, I think I showed you the roll cage is in here. That was already in there. I would like to gusset these in at some point, because when I'm going down the road, it feels real solid, but I can see the cage moving, so I think it needs to get welded in, tied in to the body so it doesn't rattle around. It might stiffen it up a little bit. Just got an aftermarket stereo in there. It got some little 6x9 speakers. Sounds great. Got the what do you call that? Gas pedal. I forgot what it's called. Obviously got my little cup holder there from Harbor Freight. What else can I show you? Front end, it's just a ball joint front end. Got the Harbor Freight winch, 5,000 pound. That's pulled me out of a couple spots, so I'm not complaining about that thing. The beam is stock, like I said, but it's cut and turned, so I get about another maybe 1.5 inches of front end lift on there. Interior, I got this is obviously of 71, but I got an older style gas tank in there. It's fine. Works for me. I just pop the hood whenever I need to get gas. No big deal. It's what I got for free from a friend, so I threw it in here. The wiring is all I had a friend come over. We did the wiring on it. We got this. I forgot what is this thing called. Well, you can see it. It's good stuff. I haven't had any issues with that electrical box. But yeah, so there's nothing too exciting to see in here. There's the wiring for my winch. No big deal. These headlights off Amazon. Nothing too crazy about those. They're really bright. I only have the low beams. Wired into them right now, but they're fine for what I use them for. I don't go anywhere where it needs to be, where I need a ton more light. Like, I got plenty of light, and I threw this, or my girlfriend got me the little 9-inch light bar. That thing works great. It, with these and that, it's, can't complain. It works great. What else? Tires are 31.5 in the back. I think they're 235 in the front. Is that what that is? Yep, 235. and 10-inch or 9-inch wide tires or wheels in the back. Got the roof rack, spare tire up there, shovel, you know, whatever. I've used everything on here, you know. I've used my those ramps, recovery ramps, and I just got this little adapter for my high lift jack. I haven't had to use it yet, but before I got that thing, and when I did use the high lift jack, my jack was always sinking in the ground. I'd have to find, you know, some rocks, put the rocks on it. Thing would still sink down into the ground. It was real frustrating. So I think that little plate's going to make a big difference when I'm going to lift my car up next time. What else? Oh, disc brakes all the way around. They're just empty disc brakes. I wanted to save a couple bucks, so I didn't get the e-brake ones for the back, but it's fine. Haven't really had any huge issues with having that. With not having an e-brake, you know, I don't just let my car sit there and idle anyway. So whenever I have to stop at a spot on a hill or something like that, just shut it off, put it in gear, you know, no big deal. What else? But yeah, this thing's been fun. It's it's a blast to drive. It's great. It's light, plenty of power. I don't know. I haven't dynoed it or anything like that, but you know, just based on the specs of the engine, maybe 100 horsepower. You know, similar torque, which is plenty for this thing. You know, it can't weigh more than 2,200 pounds, maybe with me in it. Yeah, been fine-tuning things and breaking stuff and fixing it, and you know, driving this thing wherever and figuring out what the little kinks are. And you know, I had an issue before with the suspension, little bolt that I have in there. The nut was coming loose, so that it was rattling. But you know, once I tighten it down real tight, it, you know, no issues. Haven't had that bolt come loose in, you know, at least a year. Also had an issue with my rear wheel bearings. I think on the driver's side, the wheel bearing nut, the axle nut, whatever you want to call it, would come loose, so that my wheel would move back and forth. But once I really cranked on it, it's hasn't come loose since. But yeah, this is my car. Well, I live out here in Arizona, but I'm getting ready to leave, moving to Georgia, so I'm definitely gonna miss the trails out here. You know, I'm just out here in Hassayampa, and there's just miles and miles and miles of trails, and you know, I don't know what it's gonna be like out there, but I'm trying to enjoy this area as much as I can until I have to move. And oh yeah, so by the way, I haven't mentioned this, but what I do, I'm active duty Air Force, been in for about 15.5 years. So I'm hoping this next assignment's my last one. I don't know if I necessarily want to stay out in Georgia forever, but you know, my current thought is to do my time over there, retire, and then you know, maybe move back out to Arizona, do something else out here. Been you know, I've had a lot of different jobs. Well, not a lot. I guess you could say a lot, because not a lot of people move around as much as I have as far as career is. You know, they usually get one job, maybe two, but I've had 4. Was TAC P. Well, I went through the training in TAC P, but I didn't actually finish. You know, I got halfway through the training. You know, academics, you know, the physical part of it was fine, but I just couldn't bring myself to want to kill people. And that's how I looked at it. You know, it wasn't necessarily me be dropping, calling in airstrikes, you know, downrange, and that just didn't appeal to me. I thought it was fun when I went to basic, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, we can give you $90,000 re-enlistment bonus or sign-on bonus or whatever when you graduate and all this stuff. And yeah, I changed my mind, and then I ended up going to be ground equipment. I did that for about 6 years, and then I cross-trained to be a flight engineer. Did that for 3 years, didn't really work out. Was going through some personal stuff, and couldn't really focus on it. It was pretty intense training, So they put me back in my old career field, back in ground equipment. I did that for about 5 more years. Next week I'm going to training to be a logistics planner. So once I get done with that training, then I'll be planning, you know, all the logistics of moving equipment and people around the world. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Should be a fun experience, rewarding, I'm sure, to move all those pieces around and get everybody where they need to go and get them their supplies and whatever it is. I don't know too much about it yet, but I'm going to the training. And then once that's done, I come back and maybe got like a couple months left and leaving Arizona. So yeah, that's my life. Oh, like I mentioned, my girlfriend, I have a girlfriend. We don't have any kids together or anything, you know, we're not married or engaged or anything like that. She's a school teacher, and I'm just out here having fun. You know, I have, like I said, I was going through some personal stuff. I went through a divorce when I was stationed in Delaware, with that new job that I was getting, and I was going to be gone a lot, and you know, it just didn't work out between us at the time. And you know, now my kids are living with her out in Kentucky. I try to see them as much as I can. You know, this is kind of thankful that I'm moving to Georgia. I'm gonna be just a few hours away, so hopefully get to see them more. Been kind of missing out on a lot of things being out here in Arizona, and you know, doing what I gotta do for the military and everything. So I'm trying my best. Just trying to have fun. Well, yeah, that's about it. This is my car. That's me. Yeah, it's kind of a long video, but you know, we'll piece it all together and we'll make it work. And yeah, I'm gonna go drive this thing around some more and enjoy it. All right, bye. All right, decided to throw this thing up on a little tire real quick, and I'm gonna peel out. All right, see how this goes.